Imagine if I told you that your entire future could begin to change in the next 60 minutes. Not tomorrow, not next month, not when conditions become perfect, not when someone finally believes in you. One single hour used with intention can become the turning point that separates the life you have from the life you've always imagined. Most people underestimate what they can accomplish in one focused hour, while dramatically overestimating what they can achieve without focus over the next year. Success is rarely created by dramatic moments. It is built by ordinary moments used in extraordinary ways. Every successful person has the same 24 hours that everyone else has. The difference is not found in talent. It is not found in luck. It is not found in background or education alone. It is found in how they treat time. Time is the one resource that cannot be replaced. Money lost can be earned again. Opportunities missed can often return in another form. Knowledge forgotten can be relearned. But 1 hour wasted is gone forever. Every sunrise deposits another 24 hours into your account, and every sunset closes that account forever. The question is not whether you have enough time. The question is whether you are investing the time you already have. Think about how many lives have changed because someone made one important decision in 1 hour. Someone decided to start exercising after years of making excuses. Someone wrote the first page of a book that later inspired millions. Someone picked up the phone and made the call they had been avoiding. Someone enrolled in a course that completely transformed their career. Someone apologized, repaired a broken relationship, or walked away from a toxic situation. The action itself did not take years. It began in a single hour of courage. Your life is always moving in the direction of your strongest habits. If your habits remain the same, your future will probably remain the same. But if 1 hour today becomes the birthplace of a new habit, everything begins to shift. Great achievements do not appear overnight. They are the accumulated result of repeated hours invested wisely. Every masterpiece began with one brushstroke. Every skyscraper began with one blueprint. Every successful business began with one idea. Every confident person was once uncertain. Every champion was once unknown. Many people spend hours thinking about success instead of working toward it. They spend hours worrying about problems instead of solving them. They spend hours comparing themselves to others instead of improving themselves. Imagine redirecting just 1 hour every day toward your biggest dream. 1 hour reading books that strengthen your mind. 1 hour learning a valuable skill. 1 hour improving your health. 1 hour planning your future. 1 hour practicing your craft. 1 hour every day may seem insignificant, but after a year, that becomes hundreds of focused hours invested in becoming someone completely different. The biggest obstacle standing between people and success is not lack of opportunity. It is distraction. We live in a world competing for our attention every minute of every day. Notifications interrupt our thinking. Endless scrolling steals our focus. Entertainment quietly replaces education. Before you know it, another evening has disappeared and nothing meaningful has been accomplished. Success requires protecting your attention because wherever your attention goes, your life follows. If you control your attention, you begin controlling your future. There is incredible power in uninterrupted concentration. When you give your full attention to one meaningful task for 60 minutes, your mind operates differently. Your creativity expands, your confidence grows, problems become clearer. Solutions appear that were invisible before. Momentum begins building. One focused hour often produces more progress than an entire day filled with interruptions. Excellence is born when concentration replaces distraction. Ask yourself a simple question. If someone paid you $1 million to stay completely focused on one important task for 1 hour, could you do it? Of course you could. The ability already exists within you. The challenge is not your capability. The challenge is your priorities. You have already proven that you can focus when the reward seems valuable enough. The key is recognizing that your future is worth far more than any temporary distraction. Every successful journey begins with a decision. Decisions shape destiny. You may not control every circumstance in your life, but you always control your decisions. One decision made today can erase years of regret tomorrow. Decide to stop waiting. Decide to stop blaming. Decide to stop doubting yourself. Decide that this hour belongs to your future, not your fears. The quality of your life improves when the quality of your decisions improves. Fear convinces people to postpone action. It whispers that you need more confidence before you begin. But confidence is not created before action. Confidence is created through action. Every small promise you keep to yourself strengthens your self-respect. Every hour spent improving yourself proves that you are becoming someone who follows through. The person you admire is not fearless. They simply learned to move despite fear. Your past has no authority over your future unless you give it permission. Too many people allow yesterday's failures to become today's excuses. They replay old mistakes until they convince themselves that nothing will ever change. But your future does not care where you started. It responds to what you choose to do next. The next hour has no memory. It offers a completely fresh opportunity to become someone stronger, wiser, and more disciplined. Imagine planting a seed. For days, nothing appears above the surface. You could mistakenly believe that nothing is happening. Yet, beneath the ground, roots are forming. Growth is taking place where nobody can see it. Personal development works the same way. Your first hour of disciplined effort may not produce immediate results. Your 10th hour may still seem ordinary, but eventually invisible progress becomes visible success. What people call overnight success is usually the result of thousands of unseen hours invested consistently. Discipline is one of the greatest forms of self-love. Every disciplined action is a message you send to yourself that your future matters. Every time you choose learning over laziness, preparation over procrastination, and purpose over comfort, you strengthen your identity. Eventually, success becomes less about motivation and more about character. Character is what remains when emotions disappear. You do not need perfect conditions to begin. If you wait until everything feels right, you may wait forever. Start with what you have. Use what you know. Build from where you are. Progress always begins before perfection. The smallest meaningful action taken today is infinitely more valuable than the greatest intention postponed until tomorrow. There are people who dream about writing a business plan, launching a company, learning another language, improving their health, becoming financially independent, or building meaningful relationships. Years pass, and those dreams remain exactly where they started because dreams without action become permanent fantasies. 1 hour transforms dreams into plans. Plans become actions. Actions become habits. Habits become results. Results become your new reality. One of the greatest investments you can make during one focused hour is learning. Every book contains years of experience compressed into pages. Every lesson learned from someone who has already achieved success allows you to avoid costly mistakes. Knowledge changes the way you think, and thinking changes the way you live. Every hour spent learning increases your value. The marketplace rewards people according to the value they create, solve, and contribute. Another powerful use of 1 hour is planning. Most people spend more time planning a vacation than planning their future. Imagine sitting quietly with a notebook and asking yourself important questions. Where do I want to be 1 year from now? What skills must I develop? What habits must I eliminate? What relationships should I strengthen? What fears have been controlling my choices? Clarity often arrives when you stop rushing and begin reflecting. Your environment influences your behavior more than you realize. If your surroundings encourage distraction, distraction becomes normal. If your environment encourages growth, growth becomes natural. Sometimes 1 hour spent organizing your workspace, removing unnecessary distractions, and preparing for productive work creates momentum that lasts for weeks. Small changes in your environment often produce enormous changes in your performance. Success also requires taking responsibility. Personal responsibility is liberating because it places the power back into your hands. The moment you stop blaming circumstances, difficult people, bad luck, or the economy for everything, you begin asking a different question. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You ask, what can I do right now? That question leads to solutions. Solutions create progress. 1 hour can also restore your health. A walk outside, a strength workout, preparing nutritious meals, stretching your body, meditating quietly, resting intentionally. Your body carries your dreams every single day. Taking care of it is not a luxury. It is a responsibility. Energy creates productivity, and productivity creates achievement. Never underestimate the power of writing your goals. Goals transform vague wishes into measurable destinations. A person without goals often becomes busy accomplishing someone else's goals. During one focused hour, write exactly what you want in every major area of your life. Be specific, be ambitious, be honest. Then identify the next action that moves you one step closer. Every remarkable achievement is simply a series of completed next steps. There will always be reasons to delay. There will always be unexpected challenges. There will always be moments when you don't feel inspired. But successful people understand something incredibly important. Feelings are temporary. Commitment is permanent. They do what needs to be done, whether they feel like doing it or not. That consistency compounds over time until extraordinary results become inevitable. Imagine looking back 5 years from now. Which version of yourself will you become? The person who kept postponing meaningful work for another day? Or the person who decided that one focused hour mattered enough to protect it every single day? Your future self is being built by the choices you make today. Every hour is like casting a vote for the person you are becoming. Vote wisely. Remember that every accomplishment creates new confidence. The more promises you keep to yourself, the stronger your belief becomes. Self-confidence is earned through evidence. Each completed hour of focused effort becomes evidence that you are capable of greater things. Eventually, your identity changes. You stop seeing yourself as someone who wants success and begin seeing yourself as someone who creates success. You are far more capable than you realize. Hidden inside you are ideas that have never been expressed, talents that have never been developed, leadership that has never been exercised, and potential that has never been fully explored. The only way to discover those possibilities is to put yourself to work. Potential means nothing without action. Ability grows through use. Every hour invested in your personal growth unlocks another level of who you can become. Do not measure the importance of 1 hour by the clock. Measure it by the direction it creates. A ship changes its destination with only a slight adjustment of its course. Likewise, your life changes the moment your daily actions begin moving toward a different destination. Small shifts repeated consistently eventually produce extraordinary transformations. The miracle is not found in one dramatic breakthrough. It is found in the steady accumulation of disciplined hours that nobody applauds but everyone eventually notices. So when this moment ends and life begins pulling at your attention again, remember that you always have a choice. You can spend the next hour exactly as you spent the last one, or you can make this hour the first brick in the foundation of a completely different future. The life you want is not waiting for another version of you. It is waiting for the decisions that only you can make. Beginning with the next 60 minutes, you choose to protect, invest, and dedicate to becoming the person you were always capable of becoming. One of the greatest misconceptions about success is that it requires giant leaps. In reality, success responds to consistent steps. Think about water flowing over a rock. The water appears soft, almost powerless, yet over time it carves through solid stone. Not because it is stronger, but because it is persistent. Your daily effort works exactly the same way. One focused hour may not impress anyone today, but repeat that hour often enough, and your life begins to reflect a level of excellence that once seemed impossible. There will be mornings when you wake up energized and excited to pursue your goals. There will also be mornings when you feel tired, discouraged, or uncertain. The mistake many people make is believing they should only perform at their best when they feel their best. But your greatest victories often come on the days when you least feel like working. Those are the moments that define your character. Anyone can work when motivation is high. Champions work when motivation is absent because they understand that discipline is stronger than emotion. Your emotions are temporary visitors. They come and go like changing weather. Some days are filled with sunshine and others bring storms. But imagine if a pilot decided to fly only when the sky looked perfect. Many destinations would never be reached. Successful people continue flying toward their goals regardless of temporary emotional conditions. They acknowledge their feelings, but they refuse to let feelings become their leaders. The greatest conversation you will ever have is the one that takes place inside your own mind. Every day you are speaking to yourself whether you realize it or not. If your internal voice constantly says, "I'm not good enough, I'm too late, I don't have what it takes," your actions will eventually reflect those beliefs. But when you deliberately replace those thoughts with empowering beliefs, something remarkable begins to happen. Your confidence grows because your mind starts searching for evidence that supports your new identity. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you consistently plant eventually grows. If you plant doubt, fear, excuses, and negativity, don't be surprised when those become the harvest of your life. But if you plant optimism, courage, gratitude, learning, and determination, your future begins to bloom with opportunities that once seemed impossible. Every hour you spend feeding your mind with positive, practical knowledge becomes an investment that pays dividends for years. People often ask why some individuals seem to attract opportunities while others constantly struggle. One reason is preparation. Opportunity has a habit of visiting people who are ready. Imagine someone unexpectedly offers you your dream job tomorrow. Would your skills justify that opportunity? If someone offered to invest in your business idea today, would you have a clear plan ready? If the opportunity you've been praying for arrived this afternoon, would you be prepared to seize it? Preparation turns unexpected opportunities into life-changing moments. Many doors remain closed, not because people are unworthy, but because they are unprepared. Preparation is something you control. Every book you read, every skill you practice, every lesson you learn, every hour you invest quietly behind the scenes prepares you for opportunities that others may never even notice. Never underestimate the value of becoming excellent at one thing. In a world where many people are distracted by everything, mastery becomes incredibly rare. Instead of chasing every new trend, commit yourself to becoming exceptional in one valuable area. Excellence attracts attention. Excellence creates influence. Excellence builds confidence. Excellence opens doors that average performance never will. The people who accomplish extraordinary things are not necessarily the smartest people in the room. Often they are simply the most committed. They refuse to quit when progress slows. They refuse to surrender after rejection. They refuse to let temporary failure become permanent defeat. Persistence is a competitive advantage because so few people are willing to continue when success takes longer than expected. Failure itself is not the enemy. The fear of failure is far more dangerous. Failure teaches lessons that success cannot. Every mistake contains information. Every setback contains wisdom. Every disappointment carries experience that prepares you for future victories. The question is never whether you will fail. The question is whether you will learn quickly enough to succeed. Imagine learning to ride a bicycle. No child falls once and concludes they were never meant to ride. They stand up, adjust their balance, and try again. Somehow, as adults, many people lose that willingness to continue. They expect immediate perfection and become discouraged when they encounter resistance. But every expert was once a beginner who refused to remain one. Your future depends less on avoiding mistakes and more on responding wisely to them. Every successful entrepreneur has made expensive mistakes. Every respected leader has made poor decisions. Every accomplished athlete has experienced defeat. Every inspiring speaker has stumbled over words. What separates them is not perfection, but resilience. They kept moving while others stopped. There is incredible strength in taking complete ownership of your life. Ownership means refusing to make excuses. Excuses may provide temporary comfort, but they never create permanent improvement. Every excuse quietly transfers power away from you. Responsibility does the opposite. The moment you accept responsibility, you reclaim the power to change your circumstances. Ask yourself this question whenever you face a challenge. What is within my control? You cannot control the economy. You cannot control other people's opinions. You cannot control unexpected events. But you can control your preparation. You can control your attitude. You can control your work ethic. You can control your decisions. Focus relentlessly on what you can influence, and you'll spend less time feeling powerless. Another hour that can transform your life is the hour spent improving your communication. Your ability to communicate influences every area of your life. Careers are advanced through communication. Relationships are strengthened through communication. Businesses grow through communication. Leaders inspire through communication. Learn to express ideas clearly. Learn to listen deeply. Learn to ask thoughtful questions. Communication is not merely speaking, it is connecting. People remember how you make them feel. They remember whether you encourage them or discourage them. Whether you listened or interrupted, whether you lifted them higher or pulled them lower. Becoming someone who communicates with clarity, confidence, and kindness creates opportunities that technical skills alone cannot provide. Success is rarely achieved alone. Every meaningful accomplishment involves other people. Learn to appreciate others genuinely. Celebrate their victories, encourage their efforts, express gratitude often. The strongest relationships are built not on convenience, but on trust. Trust grows through consistency. Every promise you keep strengthens your reputation. Every commitment you honor increases your credibility. Your reputation is one of your greatest assets. It takes years to build and only moments to damage. Guard it carefully. Be known as someone who follows through. Be known as someone whose word can be trusted. Be known as someone who arrives prepared, finishes what they start, and treats others with respect. Character creates opportunities long before talent does. Sometimes the hour that changes your life is the hour you spend in complete silence. We live in a noisy world where people are constantly reacting, consuming information, and filling every empty moment with stimulation. Yet clarity often arrives in quiet moments. Sit alone without distractions. Think deeply about your life. Ask yourself honest questions. Are you living according to your values? Are you spending your time on what truly matters? Are your daily actions aligned with your long-term vision? Most people are too busy to think, yet thinking is one of the highest paying activities in the world. Every major breakthrough begins as an idea. Every innovation starts with someone asking a better question. Give yourself permission to slow down long enough to think clearly. Another life-changing hour is the one you spend reviewing your progress. Measure what matters. If you never evaluate your actions, how will you know whether you're improving? Keep track of your habits. Celebrate your progress. Identify areas that need adjustment. Small corrections made consistently prevent major problems later. A pilot doesn't wait until reaching the destination to discover the plane drifted off course. Constant adjustments keep the aircraft moving toward its intended destination. Your life requires the same process. Regular reflection keeps you aligned with your goals. There is something incredibly powerful about momentum. The hardest part of almost any task is getting started. Once you're moving, continuing, becomes much easier. That is why the first 5 minutes of your focused hour matter so much. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Begin immediately. Action creates momentum, and momentum fuels further action. Imagine pushing a massive flywheel. The first push feels difficult. The second push still requires effort, but after enough consistent pushes, the wheel begins turning with increasing speed. Eventually, it develops so much momentum that maintaining movement becomes easier than starting it. Your habits operate exactly the same way. Consistency eventually makes success feel natural. Every day presents countless opportunities to choose growth instead of comfort. Comfort whispers that tomorrow will be a better day to begin. Growth reminds you that tomorrow is built by what you do today. Comfort seeks immediate pleasure. Growth seeks lasting fulfillment. Comfort keeps you where you are. Growth takes you where you've never been. One reason people avoid difficult work is because they focus on the discomfort of the process instead of the reward waiting on the other side. Shift your attention. Instead of thinking about how difficult today's work feels, think about who you are becoming because of it. Every challenge strengthens qualities that easy living never develops. Imagine carrying a heavy weight every day. At first, it feels overwhelming, but gradually your muscles adapt. Eventually, the same weight that once exhausted you becomes manageable. Challenges strengthen your mind exactly the same way. Problems are not merely obstacles. They are opportunities to develop patience, creativity, courage, wisdom, and resilience. Gratitude is another habit capable of transforming your life in 1 hour. Spend time reflecting on everything you already possess instead of obsessing over everything you lack. Gratitude doesn't eliminate ambition. It balances ambition with appreciation. People who appreciate today's blessings often create tomorrow's opportunities with greater joy and confidence. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to destroy motivation. Someone will always appear richer, smarter, faster, younger, or more accomplished. If you constantly compare your beginning to someone else's middle, discouragement becomes inevitable. Instead, compare yourself with the person you were yesterday. Improvement is the only competition that truly matters. Every hour spent becoming a better version of yourself is never wasted. Even when results seem invisible, your identity is changing. Your confidence is growing. Your skills are improving. Your perspective is expanding. These invisible transformations eventually become visible achievements. Remember that every extraordinary life is built through ordinary days lived intentionally. Greatness is not reserved for a select few. It belongs to those willing to make uncommon choices consistently. The distance between average and exceptional is often measured not in talent, but in habits practiced over time. When obstacles appear, remind yourself that every worthwhile goal attracts resistance. Resistance is not evidence that you should quit. It is evidence that what you're pursuing matters. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Steel becomes stronger through intense heat. Your greatest strengths often emerge during your greatest tests. There will be seasons when progress feels slow. During those seasons, trust the process. Continue learning. Continue improving. Continue showing up. Continue investing your focused hour. Seeds do not stop growing simply because you cannot see them. Your future is developing beneath the surface long before anyone applauds your success. One day, people may look at your accomplishments and assume you were simply fortunate. They will see the victory, but not the sacrifice. They will notice the confidence, but not the years of uncertainty you overcame. They will admire the success, but never fully understand the countless hours of preparation, learning, persistence, and quiet determination that made it possible. Let them misunderstand if they choose. You will know the truth. Your future was not created by luck. It was built one disciplined hour at a time, one meaningful decision after another, until the impossible slowly became inevitable. And what once existed only in your imagination gradually became the reality you were courageous enough to create through relentless focus, unwavering commitment, and the willingness to make every single hour count.